Oh, I got coffee. Now I'm good. It's time we get started with Kerbal Space Program. Day 58. Okay. Recovery missions. This is a 1.875. Yeah. I think I said the other night that I'm not going to do this one. Because I hardly make any money on this. I don't make any science, really. I do get some reputation if I decided to do it. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that one. But what I was excited to do today, I wanted to tweak a rocket selection a little more. And that is a great thing I figured to do early when most people are not able to join. Okay, let's tweak this a little bit. Now, I did off camera real quick before I logged off on Friday. Kind of throw this together, and mathematically it would suggest that this would be capable of launching 3 tons to orbit. So this should be a 3-ton to orbit launcher. I'm going to just fix the staging on it. I want to check something real quick on this as well. Why this insists that there's no delta V. There's definitely delta V to be had. Kind of curious. This was working earlier. It's actually how I was trying to calculate that this would be a good 3-ton launcher. Worries me a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to just check one thing real quick. I should be able to do this math without seeing the delta V. So I am using a Kodiak with a pair of Twitch engines to provide the thrust vectoring. I want to look at price and I want to look at performance. Because I was wondering if the J2 would be anywhere close. It is more expensive, I think. So Kodiak, 1100 plus 800. So yeah, 1900 in its current configuration versus 2300. I'll be adding 400 credits. And that would actually have less thrust to take off. Okay, yeah, no. Also be slightly heavier. Okay, yep, so definitely worth doing this instead of a J2. It's more of a vacuum engine anyway. So let me go ahead and update this for the Decanus 1. I did make a heavy version, which should be capable of launching right around 7 tons. Fix the staging on this as well. Better. Still, the delta V calculation's not working. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so now with those changes being made, and I'm going to make one real quick to the Optio. Oh. A super nitpicky thing. Makes it look a little more like a Titan 2. Looks a little more like a Titan 2 paint job. And this looks pretty dead on. Anyway. However, if I rotate that even more so. There we go. And the Optio Heavy looks pretty dead on with a Titan 2 or Titan 3D, I think, was the one that didn't have the third stage option. So Optio 1 Heavy. So why did I build two new launchers? Well, if I throw cost down the line, first of all, I can get rid of this because I didn't like that this now is another Titan clone that's kind of iffy at best. It's kind of not really the right length for everything. It's kind of not cost effective. So overall, the launcher almost 10,200 credits for 7 tons. And our Decanus Heavy, when I pull off the towers, is at 9,190. So not a huge savings, mind you. Not some massive unparalleled saving, but a saving. And it's got a unique look to it. Different family of rockets. So I think the Armakustos is going to get retired in favor of this. The Sagittari might also get retired. I don't know about this guy. I don't know if this still has a place with us. But okay, let's do a quick check over our different contracts. I want to find something maybe to test one of these rockets out with before we do something more intensive. Well, I really didn't leave myself a lot, did I? So trash collection is one thing I can do. I do have plenty of funds to keep doing trash collection. And that would be an excellent way to test out our 3-ton launcher. So we want our cleanup probe. Oh, that's our rescue and cleanup. Getting my own naming scheme goofed up there. Don't want that one. Sweeper 1, there we go. And this is 2.7 tons. It's actually a little bit on the light side. Always look on the light side. So if I really wanted this to be a valid 3-ton payload test, I would need to just crank this weight a little more with something, with anything. Oh, right. The thing I always forget. Why wouldn't I do that? Let's put some retro fire rockets. There we are. That actually comes out perfect. So not only that, we're gonna save this time. So we want those to fire when we separate off. Perfect. Wunderbar. So a 3-ton payload. Then it's going to be on its own, try and do some trash collection. So I'm going to have to pick something close in. I can get rid of the bad idea ship. That's what I can do. I've been meaning to do that. It's been bugging me. So we will need to rebuild the fairing. Forgot I wanted to move over to a more common fairing size across everything. That's fine. I could do some fun. I could do some four-way clamshell deploy. That should be fun. All right. It does probably make it a little heavier. It does, unfortunately. I wonder if I could kind of cut that down a little ways or what. I think I already kind of cut it down as much as I can. What I might do is short change just a little bit on the monopropellant. I don't think we're going to need a ton of it. That's literally how much we're cutting out, is a ton of monopropellant. So yeah, that should work better. I'll half fuel the monopropellant tanks. Alright, this should be a good test vehicle. First stage looks all correct. Oh, now it's showing the Delta V. That's a little less than I remember it showing as well. That's kind of concerning. Then, let's see. Second stage. And then payload. 5,004. So yeah, this should be not really much of a problem getting to orbit. It is showing like it's going to be a little underpowered. However, that's because we're calculating it at sea level entirely. And as we know, this is going to be going to space, so we will get better efficiency out of the engines as we go. Alright, now our target the bad idea ship. So that is the last remaining piece of a multi-part launcher that actually did go very successfully. It is what got our second lab onto the moon station. However, the midsection that, well, that's kind of loud. The midsection I didn't have a set use for. Did get destroyed, or damaged at least, in the process of separation. So that left that midsection that didn't have a purpose already just still there. So we're gonna go take care of that. To 10,000 meters. Unboosted for a 3-ton payload. We'll use 2 boosters, the BACC boosters for a 7-ton payload. That's what we'll be using to launch our capsules from now on, if all goes according to plan. So at 10,000 meters, we start nosing over as steeply as these engines allow. These engines do not have a lot of gimbal, they don't have a lot of thrust. However, they have the correct combination, I think. In theory, I might eat my words here, so I might stop talking there. I was gonna say in theory I might make this all the way to orbit as a single gravity turn. But I might eat my words. This is kind of slowish. Let's just kind of stop it right here. Nice and shallow. We did a lot of burning upwards there. It does not want to stay put. Okay. Orbit tracking, please. Okay, now it will stay put. And okay, we left ourselves pretty darn short there. That's unfortunate. So clamshell deploy, that looked ugly. And then let's just go for second stage. May have made a little bit of an error there on my part. Pitching it over too much. And here I thought I wasn't pitching over fast enough. No. No, please. There we go. Okay. We should still have enough delta V to get to orbit. We're just putting a little more effort into our poor second stage engine instead of our first stage. So this might still be valid. 32-second burn, 16 seconds is how far away from our maneuver node we want to be. So yeah, this actually, we went a lot more shallow than we needed to. So yes, I was definitely overturning. I was doubting myself. I was doubting the rocket. I shouldn't have been. So now I know. I will use that in a less aggressive gravity turn later. This payload marking the very high end of what it should be expected to carry. Well, it's looking quite good. We should have leftover fuel. If I don't lose it all in turning loss there. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Probably could have kept those monopropellant tanks where they were at and still made it. Huh. Yep, impressive. That actually managed just a little over 3 tons. If you count the fact there's extra fuel. And we're right behind it on a lower orbit to the Bad Idea ship, so that looks pretty good as well. You can go ahead and try and plan out a maneuver for intercept. Ooh, that looks very good. Play with this maneuver node a little bit. Oh, just made it worse. Is there an inclination difference, maybe? Yeah, there is a slight inclination difference. Yeah, let's start with this prograde maneuver, and then I'll do the other tweaking from there. Don't want to miss our opportunity for our prograde maneuver. Overshot it a little bit. But, you know, still pretty good. Let's do the final tweaking here at descending node. So we're going to want to correct that until we see our ascending and descending nodes flip-flop. There we go. Should be where we are perfectly level on the same inclination. Alright. It looks like the same altitude. So then from there will just be timing adjustment via the radial in. A little more radial out, actually. Went too far with the radial in. Okay. We need a little more altitude. Okay. And then we can tweak again. Radial in? Nope. Radial out. Neither. Neither's the answer. Okay. So what's our major malfunction here? Still timing. I see that. Had it there for a second. Got it down to 1. And our altitude's too low, so another little bit of prograde. A little bit more of radial out. There we go. Now we're talking. Radial in, perhaps? Radial out. So, 0.4 is probably the best we're going to get without more prograde adjustment there. We could still do this with this stage. This really isn't bad at all. It's actually kind of overkill for 3 tons to orbit. I was hoping the clamshell deploy would be at least a little neater, though. Oh, this is actually a 1-second burn. Let's thrust limit it down. It's hard to make those precise adjustments. Just run around to the maneuver. Just a tiny bit of readjustment there. I'll wait till 2 seconds away. Sulo A is on with a yup for science. I must concur. Yup for science. Alright, so that should give us... Yep, a very good rendezvous. Oh, wait. Still reading. Yeah, it's still the same. Okay. Very good rendezvous, actually. Very little relative speed difference there. So that should put us in position, finally, to deorbit this last stranded capsule indicator. And clean up our skies. So not the most glorious mission. Did we just pass our closest intercept? No. Yes, we did. Okay. Well, let's catch back up to it, shall we? We're now close enough to do some dumb reckoning. $10 meters per second should be overkill. I'll be very happy to finally get at least the capsule indicators cleaned up. I still have a lot of debris indicators to clean up. But one step at a time, we're removing Kessler syndrome from our poor, our poor Kerbin. Our poor Kerbals. And poor me for staring at the ugly maps. I do need to send one of these up and clear out Kiosat 4. Get rid of the last of our first, well, really second-gen satellites. Just our second gen was our first gen that actually was anywhere near successful. Oh, and that's right. I could have sent this up with a. I should have sent this up with a docking port instead of a grabber. I could have just docking port grabbed that. It's a little easier to have the grabber, I guess. When you're dealing with an unpowered target. Textbook. Alright. Is that a live stream coffee? I wish it was a live stream coffee. It's unfortunately not. I don't have enough varieties of liquor in the house at the moment. Alright, now, let's retrograde aim here for a second. Yes, the live stream coffee is a marvelous thing that needs to be known by all the world. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to clean up with this thing. I might actually just keep the actual grabber in space. We should do that as a special live stream coffee episode. Up in another part of the recipe. What I could do with my current streaming deck is I could just like pre-record how to make a live stream coffee and just insert it at random points. practice how to make a live stream coffee. Alright, now we've got to do things quickly. We got to get rid of this. I said get rid of this. Release. Thank you. We need to back to SAS, back to prograde. Okay. I really need that out of the way. So let's RCS for just a second. Okay. Good. Now that's out of the way, I can stage off this. I said stage off this. There we go. Okay. And then back to prograde. Okay. So that's a good amount of debris that is no longer. That will all go down and blow up on Kerbin. So, question I have for myself, what else around here is there? There's of course those two bits that are both on suborbital trajectory. What the heck is this? Should be coming up on this guy pretty quick. I don't know what that is, but I'm willing to take it out. I can't go that far. Okay, that would give us a tighter orbit all around. I think that is what I want. Don't intend to do any aero braking, so let's keep that up. Okay, not bad. Might be able to get some more debris deorbited with this guy. Got plenty of delta V to attempt that with. The joys of just having a very light craft. So we're going to have a 3-second burn. Warp to that maneuver. See our debris goes and offs itself. Technical term. A little bit of correction. We're not totally vital, but where our periaps is supposed to be so low. Didn't want to mess with it. Just barely staying in the atmosphere. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. See if we can catch up to this thing. I might lower our apogee slightly as well. Depends on how quickly we're going to catch up to this. Which is not very quickly, is the answer. So yes, we are going to lower our apogee as well. Yeah, that's probably as close as I can do it and still be fairly safe here. And we do have to make an inclination correction at the descending node. Yaps for science. So true. So scientific, it breaks the camera. Really wish I could figure out why my camera keeps doing that. I have to, like, keep checking over and just seeing what... Is it stuck? Am I ventriloquist Steve today? I don't know. Can I say ventriloquist? I don't know. It's all an off day. Okay, let's go down to maybe 25% thrust. Make this a 1 second burn. Warp into this a little more. Since there's nothing exciting really going on here, it's kind of hard to see the spacecraft at all. Okay, that was pretty accurate. All right. We should now make our ascending node correction. Which will inevitably raise our orbit as part of that. Unfortunately. So we will likely have to do just a little bit of retrograde to compensate. Which I guess maybe not. Okay. I guess it really wasn't that bad. And this is going to be a much more intensive burn. So we're going to go bring the thrust limiter back up to full. Make it a 2 second burn so we can be fairly accurate with it. Time warp to that. All this while we slowly catch up. Ever so slowly. A little bit of correction. I will be happy when I have a probe that can track maneuver, I think. Alright, now. Looking pretty good for catching up to it. There's still more stuff out here. Don't know how there's a capture vessel debris. It does go into the atmosphere, so okay. That one will burn up. So that's not as bad. Now what I want to see is I want to see what happens to our... Do we overtake it? We overtake it. Okay, so that's an important thing to note. We now need to figure out how we cannot overtake it. And get our maneuver node set up. So just a little more till we're at the right altitude. That's good. Now, probably some radial out will help. It will, but more so this one. That's kind of a dramatic burn, I think. But it would work. Would we go into the atmosphere at any point? We would. We would be destined to go into the atmosphere. However, it would not be until our rendezvous. And at that point, we would be matching speed. So that actually is not bad. That's not a bad maneuver right there. I'm going to actually plan to do that one. It is only a 3-second burn, surprisingly. Just one more piece of debris to deorbit. And then, of course, like I said, these other ones, some of these around here do fall into the atmosphere, so those ones I will terminate because I do not feel like watching them. And unfortunately, if you don't watch them, they do not deorbit the way that physics would have them deorbit, even the game physics. For some reason, they get locked on rails. So I will terminate those. Those are the only ones I allow myself to terminate. All right. Pretty good. So I'm just going to try and match out what 36 meters per second of delta V will look like in terms of how much time it will take to burn. Okay, it's not bad, like 3 seconds. So it'll take me about 3 seconds to fully stop. Relative to the target, of course. I'll knock that one out, terminate some of this other debris that goes inside the atmosphere. And then head off to Minmus and try to do a manned landing. Target retrograde. Oop, overdid it. Target retrograde. There we go. Alright, ended up pretty close to it. That's not bad at all. Let's go investigate. I want to see what the heck this is even. So this is a probe bus B debris. I can't remember the last time I used probe bus B. So is this an upper stage section, perhaps? What the heck is that? Oh my goodness. Are you serious? A single landing gear. Why is there a single landing gear? What the heck did I do? Oh my god, I think I know what this is. I think this is literally a piece of a grabber. I think I was using this to try and deorbit something and broke it off. How did I end up with that? At least the chat's as confused as me. How the heck? Alright. Well. I think I need to be too precise with this one. I think I just grab it. Or not. Does that not count as a grab? Didn't count as a grab. Fixing Kessler syndrome. One random landing gear at a time. Oop. 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 I bumped it. That's bad. Okay. Maybe I do need to be extraordinarily precise. I want to like go back through my videos now and figure out what the heck this is from. Come on, grab. Grabby, grabby. Grab it. Really? What if I just... Hold on. I was hoping I could, like... trap that. I mean, we could wait till we're naturally facing retrograde. And just push it. Because it seems kind of content just to sit there at the moment. Even though it's not, like, grabbed at all. I think I might have to grab it by, like, these two bits. I'm really not sure. So if I see it rotate so those two bits are facing me, then I'm going to go ahead and try and maneuver to it. Wow, this is like one of those few ones I think I could actually probably deorbit like with a tube instead of a grabber. Almost looking like it could rotate to a favorable position. Oh, now it's not rotating because I time warped. Okay, that's how time warp works apparently. Stopped rotating. Okay. So here's what we're going to do to that. We're going to try and navigate. Blindly like an idiot. To specifically try to grab it by those 2 points, which we're still not in great position for, actually. So let's orient ourselves correctly to it and start from there. Okay, back to linear. How the hell did that just happen? Am I just not being smart right now? Probably. Yep. That seems to be what was happening. There we go. Okay. Alright. Them RCS thrusters are too powerful. They're too powerful! And there goes that theory. What do you need to grab this by to actually grab it, I wonder? Okay, well. Let's do things another way. Now that it's roughly retrograde. Let's orient retrograde. Go back to linear RCS. Position ourselves until it is directly retrograde to us. Good. Almost have it. If I don't screw it up, we have it. No. Why? Why? Why does everything have to work like diagonally? There. Auto-targeting retrograde. So targeting this. Okay. Now that's logical. And now we're right on target. Okay. I can only hit the nav ball. Not concerning myself with everything else. It's hard because now I don't get the target prograde marker. Okay. Gently. Gently. Gently miss it. Okay. Again, nav ball only. God damn it. Come on. There we go. At least we're pushing it. Alright, now. Push it as hard as we can. Which doesn't really do us very much. Well. This is annoying. I think we're not going to be able to grab this thing. Yeah, I think that's a lost cause. I'll have to send like a tube up or something to capture that in and just push it. And we'll deal with that later. Because yeah, I think that's a hopeless cause right there. All right. All right, let's take a couple things from here. We're gonna do this bug again. I think I need to restart Kerbal. This is a really annoying bug. I don't know why this happens. That it's just I'm not able to click in the Space Center at all. I want to know if I'm the only person having that problem. That's the other thing with that. Oh, it's updating. Does it just do that when it's updating? Because every time I've done that, it's gone immediately to an update. Huh. Weird. Getting everything loaded up. So, that's at least a good start. I know my 3-ton launcher is an overperformer. So, if that is the case, then the 7-ton launcher should be fine. I'll let my coffee get cold. Oof. All right. Back in action. We need to do the science data from Minmus, explore Minmus. We need to do those. And did I launch a new probe to Minmus, or did I wait? Did I just decide to do that and then not do it? I think I decided to do that and then didn't do it. No, I guess I did actually do it. I launched the Prospector probe. Well, I'll be darned. So good, I got a new temperature probe on the way to Minmus as well. That'll close out another contract. Excellent. Relay 1 is getting closer to being in the correct position. When it gets just a little further along its orbit, maybe about 10 degrees ahead of Relay 3, I'll raise its orbit again. So much debris. Alright, so let's go to the Deep Space Gateway. I need to comb through all my old video now and just find where on Earth, where off Earth did I end up separating off a landing gear, breaking off a landing gear. I want to know. Hey, kitty. Maybe don't be a douche. Hi. Mosine. Mosine, what do you eat? Knock it off. That's plastic. Plastic is not good for cats. Dipshit. Get down. Get down. Hey. Hey. What a bitch. Yeah, I have no idea where that landing gear came from. I've got no idea. I know it came from a probe bus B. That's all I know. That's the way it was named. Which I feel like I might have used the probe bus B to try and create an early grabber and cleanup craft. But I don't see why I would end up having a leftover landing gear. Yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't make any sense. But alright, we're going to get a landing going. And this time we're going to be smart about it, I hope. And try and do things fairly close to suicide burn. But we're not going to start the suicide burn from way up here this time, like idiots. We are going to go to a low orbit first. So I need to pick our resident scientist, which would be, I believe, Nusi and Ronner are in the lab. So I need Steven. I'm going to EVA him out. So we can get an EVA report. Look at that. More science. Never even done an EVA report from their station. I could probably do a crew report when I get in there. So we're going to go to our prime lander. And this is going to be so I can abuse the RCS quite a bit, actually. Because I have a feeling my excess with RCS might be something I should have avoided. For a craft that's going to be so close to being underpowered for takeoff, even for min-miss. So we're going to try and go first for that lake bed. No, we already did that one. Didn't do this one. Let's check and see if there's any of these I just didn't do. Which looks like I did most of them. Didn't do crew report. Alright, we'll keep all that nice science. We've got a fully fueled craft here. Extend some solar panels out. Turn our SAS on, our RCS on as well. We've only got 719 meters per second of delta V on this craft somehow. Does that seem right? Is that really all I put on this craft? I guess it is. I guess that's probably why I'm having so much trouble. Looks like we got a clean separation as well, though. Oop. I think our control points are kind of screwed up. Yes, it is. Reversed. We went up. Okay. So we'll get clear of the station. Clear past our big radiators for our refinery. And we're at least going to give this lander the old college try. I'm going to shut down the engine. Turn these first ones as forward by throttle. Okay. Alright, so now, from this point, I can treat those RCS like throttle. So as long as I leave myself a decent amount of monopropellant, which, God, I have a lot of monopropellant on this craft, I should be okay. So we're going to use that to set some maneuvers. We're going to start going retrograde first off. Sure, RCS is off for the actual turn, since we have reaction wheels to do that ourselves. Okay, let's use RCS to lower our periaps. We're getting ourselves into a very nice low orbit, so we can very quickly pick our landing zone. And actually do it accurately this time. Yeah, we're definitely leaving ourselves tons of monoprop. We're barely using any monoprop here. I didn't really check that aiming retrograde was clear, by the way, which is probably something you should do. However, the fact that I have not heard any explosions yet, wow, that's weird. Wrong plural there, Steve. Suggests that I did okay. I should be fine. So a nice low orbit. We are going to have to try and kink that orbit up a little bit with inclination change if I do want to get it exactly where I wanted. It's a nice circular orbit for our first parking orbit. One hour of warp. Oh, don't do that. That's a waste. Really hate when it does that. I gotta remember to disable those RCS thrusters' ability to do, like, roll in pitch. In fact, I should do that now. Yaw, pitch, roll. How many of these do I need to do? Okay. That's going to be annoying. If I have to do this on every single one of them, I'll do that later. Because realistically, I never use RCS for yaw, pitch, and roll unless it's an accident. I only use it for translation. We have very good reaction wheels otherwise. Okay, lower our orbit. Nice clean path down the length of the vehicle. I like that design. This part of the lander I like a lot. The RCS pattern looks good. It's very non-broken. There's some craft I've designed that just look very goofy because it's like firing a jet into a solar panel or something. Okay. Ended up a little low on the periaps side. Well, that's okay, I guess. Let's see where we want to do our inclination change. This is where wasting fuel is going to come into play. You can do less inclination change if we do this early. Still get over the target. Now, actually, we might have a more logical landing zone. I'm going to check with the surveyor too. We want heat map green, 60% cut off. Wherever it's looking at min-miss, make sure it's activated. Okay, yep. Now we can switch back to our lander, which is currently off on the map. There we go. So instead of doing a inclination change, perhaps I can go for this lower ice field. Okay, cool. Just kill our fun. I don't know why that didn't keep that this time. Usually that keeps that. Whichever. We're just going to go for it. Because I think it might have been another inclination change just to get far enough south for the other one anyway. In which case, there's really no point. And this is actually pretty light for an inclination change. So we can still do that with RCS. Okay. Little bit more of a boost. There we go. Over our target zone, the probe is basically dead on. Of course. Kill that maneuver. Okay. That's pretty much what we want to go for. We're going to have a lot of Delta V getting burnt off there. So at this point, that's where we're going to disable the RCS, and we're going to re-enable the engine. We're going to use the engine at its full throttle for the final, hopefully, suicide burn. I'm kind of uncomfortable doing that with someone on board. But we need to get there. We need to stop wasting, especially if we're going to be mining Minmus. And I will probably be making a new lander to do the mining. Yep, always have to plan for rotation. That's very true. Should put us a little more with the rotation, because I did leave us a little low. So as it rotates, it's actually putting us in a better position. We're going to try this suicide burn. Hopefully this is going to do it for us. I think if I overshoot a little bit on the prospector. So again, this is what I want to aim for. So I got a nice target marker, basically. About 6 seconds away, we're going to go full throttle. Very small amount of fuel on this craft. I'm really regretting that. I was just looking at how much delta V I theoretically needed to actually accomplish this, and in theory, it's much less than in practice. Okay, so real quick, we're going to shut down our engine. We're going to aim on our correction node here. And just give us just a little bit of correction with RCS. Perfect. And we can disable RCS once more, activate the engine once more, and be ready to land. At least that's the theory. We actually burned a little early. We ended up just a little early to that, which kind of sucks. So probably what I need to do, shut down the engine once more. Aim this way once more. Enable RCS once more. Oh, we've we've completely killed our monopropellant almost. Oops. That's a bad. Docking with the station might be kind of difficult with almost no RCS remaining. It's put it in the capsule there and lock it. Now the good news is that it does take a lot of unnecessary weight off the craft, which you know, that part's good. I did reactivate the engine, right? That would be a bad thing to... Yep, I was gonna say that'd be a bad thing to forget. The very last second, trying to do a suicide burn without an engine. Yeah, we saved just a tiny bit of monoprop. So as long as I get us, as I typically do with the engines anyway, lined up to the port and heading towards it in the correct orientation, I should have enough for translation control for the final dock. So it shouldn't be too bad. Worst case scenario, I do have that that assist craft. The other reason I'm choosing this spot to do our first landing, it might be one of the only landings with this craft, because I'm not a big fan of this lander, is I know the altitude, which is sea level. So, makes it a little easier to try and suicide burn when I know where I actually need to stop. And I say suicide burn, I am probably going to end up burning early. Slightly. Just not as drastically as usual. And I'm going to try and eyeball it, actually, which is probably a really bad idea. Probably about 500 meters is where I really need to start going, because that's about 5 seconds of burning. It's going to take us 10 seconds to stop. So probably right at 500 meters is where I'm going to hit full throttle. And hopefully I don't kill our pilot. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good, actually. So we're just going to fall the rest of the way. I was a little early, actually. Make sure we... Nice gentle stop here. Alright. So now I know next time it'll... Coming from an altitude of about 10,000 meters, the acceleration that I can expect, I can probably suicide burn around 400 meters. So pretty good, actually. Not bad. Not bad for our first manned min-miss landing. Now, while he's scouting, we can deploy the drill, extend the radiator, and start surface harvesting. So we might as well bring some ore back along with our science. Let's see. So we can do a crew report here. Actually, we're gonna have to have him go out and grab a new go at this. Store experiments. Get him his EVA while he's out here. Okay. Report. Keep experiment. Excellent. Temperature. Keep experiment. Gravity data. Ooh. Let's EVA out. Collect the gravity data. New one for the surf. There we go. Make sure I'm storing all this. Resetting everything. It's the benefits of having a scientist anyway. Might as well take advantage. And I need one of these that's very low. So probably the thermometer, actually. It's low as science. That one I need to... I need to actually signal something off from the surface to close a contract. So temperature scan's only 40 science. Crew reports. No, that's from high over min-miss. Can't use those. Fear reports 40 science. Gravity scans 50 science. Atmospheric pressure scans 60 science. Temperature scan. So that's a contract completion. I'm going to keep all the other ones and research those in the lab. We're going to take scan just to get the delta science on that. Then we're going to check our mystery goo. Keep that. We can probably get the other one when we're taking off for low Kerbin orbit. Look at that. You got the moon and Kerbin over there. That's kind of cool. Super low gravity. Take the surface sample. Crazy high jump. Okay, very good. Need to plant the flag. Okay, that can now be my my landing target for later. It should be actually in a pretty efficient mining zone. I'm going to get our Kerman back in the lander here. Well, I might be able to just EVA over there and just get a little more data. I wonder how far that really is. Very far. Like 2 kilometers. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Probably not. Try and keep it simple for now. We gotta land there for the other experiments anyway, later, so doing 2 zones on this time around just doesn't seem that worth it. Store all our experiments. When we're taking off, I'm going to try and do a number of experiments. But I'm going to let that mine for a minute. Scientist turned miner. I want to check from the perspective of Surveyor 2 how good my landing zone was. Heat map green, 60% cutoff. Focus view on Minmus. Yeah, I actually did pretty good. We're pretty much dead on that hotspot there. And as I suspected, those other hotspots are fairly low, so I would have had to do an inclination change either way by the looks of it. So really not that bad. I want to know what this green spot is. Is that just like low concentration? Doesn't really explain that very well. But yeah, we hit this high concentration area dead on. So that's a pretty good mining position. I had to thank Surveyor 2 for its role in that. Makes that just a little easier. I forgot I had a goo canister on this thing. So let's see, what other contracts do we have going on here that have to do around Minmus? So we have ore to Kerbin, so that's one thing we need to try and figure out how to do. We're gathering ore now, but we need a way to bring it back safely. We got the scanner on the way for all the temperature scans, because we're going to have to land for those. Those get below the safest altitude, or the least safe altitude that you can actually orbit. Might be the way to think of that. I think we closed out both the Minmus contract. Oh no, Explorer. Return to Kerbin from the surface of Minmus. So I got to actually bring him all the way back. Ew. I forgot about that. I forgot he has to come all the way back for that. So I can need some kind of transfer vessel. It's not going to goof me up. Ooh. Okay. Alright. Well, I've got our moon transfer vessel, but I'm going to, I'm probably going to return that to the moon. And get that ready to bring our scientists home from there. Oh, the logistics of this is getting complicated now. Oh, hi Mosey. More temperature surveys at Minmus. Those are at least easier ones because they're above certain altitudes. I just hate these darn temperature scans every time. It's a good way to make money though, because we've already got a probe on the way that can do them. And as boring as they are, they make us money. So I need to try and come up with some kind of fast track transfer vehicle here. Just a way to get to and from Minmus very quickly. I also need a new lander. And I like this new design. How light is this? Probably the lightest vehicle for 2 men. No. It's on par. It is technically the lightest, but not by much. What about our usual station launch vehicle? Could we theoretically use that? Or Actarius capsule? Like, I think we could possibly get away with this if we just put some kind of transfer stage on it. Kind of a cramped ride, unfortunately. I don't know if I want to use that. Well, let's see, can we use the bus at least? So let's endeavor to use the bus. I think they can EVA out of that hatch there, but I'm not sure which way around this is supposed to go to actually EVA. This would be the lightest way to get crew. I don't know about that. It looks kind of goofy. Of course, it would only be able to transfer in between. Let's just build something new. Let's just completely start over. So I want a light transfer vehicle, some way to just pick up a couple guys quickly. because realistically, we're going to have missions where we need to bring someone back in particular. It's going to get annoying. We're going to want to just quickly go over there and grab them. So maybe not that. Let's see what we have for... Oh, we do have the inline grabber now. That's kind of cool. I like that. Not sure it's practical for what we'd be looking to use this for. Could do. Could probably do.